How many times do the sheep say thank you to the shepherd? He gets them to where they drink water. He gets them to where they have the grass. Gets them to the shelter. Do those sheep, while the shepherd is bringing them or taking them to the shelter, do they kneel down before the shepherd and begin to demonstrate that you're doing so well? No, when he doesn't do well, they cry. When he does well, they are quiet. And the shepherd goes on taking care of the sheep. And Jesus said that's what he has been doing. That as a shepherd, he is giving his life for the sheep. To give life means to give time. To give life means to give property. To give life means that you'll give everything that is important. Give up your luxury, give up your convenience so that you can sacrificially give or minister to the needs of the people. Shepherd, not hireling. Look at verse 16. Another sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. A real leader is visionary and evangelistic, not contented with few. You see, there are leaders that will say, those people in the house fellowship, they are enough. They are telling us to go out and bring in more people. The people that we have inside, we have not finished caring for them. And so we must remain with these few people. Even these 7 people in my house fellowship, the trouble they give me, they have almost killed me. So if I go out and bring, and they become 10, I don't think I can manage that. These 7 people, they are enough. Those who want to be just bringing them in, let them go and be doing that. As for me, these 7 people, I will sit with them. They are enough for me. I'm not looking for anybody to make me area leader. They say, if your house fellowship is growing and they break it this time and break it that time, then maybe one day you can become area leader. I don't want area leader. I cannot manage an area. These 7 people, they are enough for me. That's not a leader. A leader is visionary. A leader is evangelistic. Other sheep I have, not yet in this fold, them I must bring. That's what we learned from the Lord Jesus Christ, that he was always reaching out. Always reaching out. And at the end, when he was going away, he said, go ye into all the world. Preach the gospel to every creature. You can see the mind of the master. You can see his vision. You can see his evangelistic zeal. And so, if we too are following the spirit-guided and spirit-controlled leadership of Jesus Christ, you'll be visionary like that. You will not be stagnant. You will not just be at the same place. You'll be bringing in more people every time. And then in John chapter 10, verse 18, there is voluntary service, not forced service. A person that is a real leader voluntarily gives himself, voluntarily offers himself. Not that we're coercing and we're forcing the person, and you have to be pulling him and dragging him and telling him, you must do this work, you must do this work, your house fellowship is not growing, your area is not growing. Since you became a zonal leader, no increase at all. What are you doing? Well, I have no time. And the people too, the transport difficulty is there. Some of them don't have accommodation. Some of them have family problem. And when you go to them, you read Bible, they say they don't want Bible now because they are jobless. Many of them have been retrenched. To be a zonal leader is not easy. We push them, we drag them, they say they will not drag. And even I myself, coordinator, if I told you the problems I have, you will pity me. I need even somebody to be caring for me than me caring for people in the zone. And we have to encourage the fellow and say, hey, be praying. Hey, I've been praying, but there is no answer. And since I prayed, and there is no answer, I'm even wondering whether I should not be a woman rep, whether I should not be a zonal leader, whether I should not be an area leader, whether I should not be leading a house at all. Maybe I should just, stay away from all those students and just take care of myself, because the burden is too great. I cannot bear it. I'm already, the thing is crushing me. And you have to force him and drag him, and and they say, well, in any case, come for Saturday meeting. Well, I wasn't thinking I will go before, because when we go there now, the pastor will be saying, those whose house fellowships are not growing, your house fellowship must grow. He doesn't know the trouble we have. And I've been even trying to see that pastor now for 3 months, and I've not seen him myself. But it's voluntary service. I laid down myself. It wasn't easy for Jesus, but he laid down his life. Laid down his life. Not that somebody was forcing him. Everybody was even discouraging him. His disciples discouraged him that he will not go to the cross and die. The Pharisees and the Sadducees were discouraging him. And the people of the land, all of them, they were discouraging him. And yet, with all the discouragement, he said, voluntarily, I lay down my life myself. Nobody is taking it away from me. John chapter 10 verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Sometimes you need to contact somebody in the zone, and you call a zonal leader, and you say, we need the attention of so-and-so in your zone. And the zonal leader will say, is that person in my zone? I never had a name like that before. He's living in such and such a place. He gave us information. He is attending a particular fellowship like this. That place is a remote area of our zone. I've not been there now for the past 1 year. I don't know them, they don't know me. And I've told the area leader there, they never come for general meeting. And since I asked them, come for general meeting, come for zonal meeting, and come to the church, and they have not been coming, I just left them in the hand of God. I don't bother myself. Anything that is too difficult, once I tell them, area leaders, house fellowship leaders, this is what to do. If they don't do it, I leave them in the hands of God. And so that area, I left it in the hands of God. So that person you're asking of, I don't know him. And then somebody has a problem, somebody has died, and we need to get at his relatives. And we say, his relative is even a member of your zone, but he's not living in the same area. He's living in this other place. Which area is that? Where is particular? Yes, I know the place. I've been there. I was there in February, and this is December. And the house fellowship he attends, the house fellowship there, those people, the day I went there, I said, good evening. They couldn't even say good evening. Not to even say good evening, sir. They were just looking at me like this. Since that time, the people that have no love, no respect, no acceptance for zonal leader, I didn't go there again. So I lost contact with that man you're asking for now. How do we get the man now? Well, I'm even ashamed to go to that place because I've left them for a long, long time. That's not leadership. But a leader, he said, my sheep know my voice. When they hear my voice, they know it. And they follow me. And I know them. And an area leader that just has a few people. And yet, you do not know those few people. Even house fellowship leader. Can you imagine house fellowship leader with 10 people under him, under her? And they said, somebody is having trouble. And he said, who will take me to our house? I've never visited our house before. 10 people for 1 year. She has never visited our house before. And they don't know her. And she doesn't know them. They said, sister so-and-so is having problem in her husband's house. And it's in your house, she's in your house worship. Therefore, go there immediately. Who is that sister so-and-so? Josephine. Whenever she comes to the house worship, where does she sit? In this corner or in that corner or at the back? Well, she doesn't sit in the same place every time. Josephine, which one will I go now? And then the one that you know, you go to, they are saying, Sister Josephine, how are you? I'm not Josephine. I'm Janet. Oh, you are Janet? They said that there's one Josephine in our house fellowship that is having trouble. Sister Josephine, I don't know her clearly myself, but maybe it's, when you take that corner and go, there is a house over there. Maybe that is a sister. And then you go there and say, how are you? Good evening, Sister Josephine. I've been looking for you. No, I'm not Josephine. I'm Mary. Where is Josephine now? But it's in your house fellowship. And then in the following house fellowship, you say, who is Josephine, and somebody living near said that she has packed that and gone to her state because she said she was in such a great trouble that even even house leader, she didn't see house leader. How would she see zonal leader? How would she see area leader? So you know Josephine? Yes, I know her. She lives. Oh, is that a woman that is plumpy like this? That woman that used to sit when the child was making trouble 3 weeks ago. The one you were saying, if you don't want to come to house fellowship, go away. That one. Now you know Josephine. But you didn't know before. How can we be in house fellowship and we don't know the few people that are there? In the area, we do not know the few people that are there. And in the zone, we do not know the people that are there. Jesus said, I know my sheep. Look at how many the church is. What if eventually you get to heaven and you said, I want to enter. They say, who are you? You say, I'm saved. I'm a child of God. I've been following Christ. And they call Christ. They said, this person said he has been following you. Identify him. Identify her. And Jesus said, I never knew him. I've never seen him. You said you are the one that gave me salvation. Now I confess my sins. And then you mentioned the date. Okay, you are born again? Yes. And I made restitution. I did this and that. Well, the church is too large. I don't know you. But if you say you are saved, come in. Enter into heaven. What will that heaven look like? But you see, Jesus has given us the style of leadership. And you should know the sheep. You should care for the sheep. And you should be able to touch their lives in your own leadership. I know my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. There should be an attitude of friendliness, fellowship, and love to the followers. That's what Jesus had to them. Let's look at John chapter 11, verse 33. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. Then said the Jews, behold, how he loved him. Leadership should be compassionate and sympathetic. Not somebody that has grown thick-skinned to the problems of people. They say, somebody's child has died, the leader has no feeling. Somebody has lost his job, the leader has no feeling. Brother so-and-so's wife has packed out, the leader has no feeling. Somebody is very sick now, they rushed him to the hospital, the leader has no feeling. And sister so-and-so just lost her mother, and sister so-and-so is undergoing terrible grief. The leader has no feeling. They said now that they are retrenching people in that place of work. And this person said, pray for me in time so that my name will not be included among the people that they will send out of that place. The leader has no sympathy. His own is attend house fellowship, attend Monday Bible study, attend Thursday meeting, attend Sunday meeting. And if you are a worker, come to the workers meeting. And once they said, this fellow has not been coming to workers meeting. Well, you are a house fellowship leader, I'm your area leader. You are not coming to workers meeting, I give you one more chance. Begin to come now. Anytime I hear you are not coming to the workers meeting again, that's final. Well, brother, I understand what you are saying, but I wanted to tell you, the reason is that, you see, when that rain came and the flood was terrible, and the flood was getting into my room, that's why I was packing my thing. What I said is that, do not miss workers' meeting. Next time you miss workers' meeting, it will be trouble. I will stop you completely. Well, you see, it was because they came to report to me from our village that my mother is sick, and they wanted me to come immediately. And I was even I had to go to some people to give me money. And what a shame that I didn't want to go to the house fellowship members, and I needed to go to one uncle somewhere and get money so that I can travel home, because my mother is about dying, and I'm the only one that is left for my mother. I don't want to hear anything, but what I want to know from you is that the workers' meeting, you will never miss it. That's what I'm discussing. Mother is sick. That is not strange. There are women that are sick in the hospital too. Everybody is sick. You are talking about your mother is sick. Whose mother is not sick? My own mother is sick too. Therefore, what I'm saying is that come to workers' meeting. You hear? And in fact, zonal leader or area, I've been trying to see you myself. This workers' meeting, by the grace of God, I will be coming. But I need help and I need prayer from you. Because even to go to church on Sunday, the transportation is very difficult for me. And who will I tell? I cannot tell if we're in the bus and they are asking for everybody to contribute money. And I'm a house fellowship leader. And the members are giving the money for their transportation. And I just put my hand in an empty pocket. Sometimes it is that shame that is stopping me. Anyway, I didn't come for counseling now. I didn't come for loaning or giving money now. What I came for is they accused you of not coming to workers' meeting regularly on Saturday. That's what I heard. That's what I came to solve. As for money, transportation, and all that, that one, are you not a child of God? Go and pray on that one. What I want to know is that workers' meeting, as a leader, the same point I came for is what I must emphasize to you. Workers' meeting, if you miss it again, you will know that I'm your leader. But Jesus Christ wept. And he said, see how he loved him. That's the example Jesus has given us of leadership. Compassionate, sympathetic. And then in John chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own, which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. Constant love, though in personal problem. There are people that carry their personal problems on their faces. And that makes them to be bad leaders. Once they have any problem in their place of work, they cannot lead people aright. They are sensitive, they are touchy, they are irritated. And there are leaders, house fellowship leaders, sisters, or area leaders, sisters, or women reps perhaps. Whenever they have family problem, and the husband said, today there's no money for food. Though. See how you will take care of your children. When there's no money, your children. And see how you will do this and do that. And then we are to have the women meeting in the zone. And it happened that in the afternoon was when the husband said, feeding the children, looking at this and looking at that, see how you will do that. And do you know that my mother is coming tomorrow? And you must see how you will feed her, because now there is no money in my pocket. And you know the trouble you have with my mother already, that anytime she comes here, you don't take care of her properly. And they are now mentioning your name in the village. If she comes tomorrow again, and you say, because you've not got money, well, you will, between you and my mother, look into that. But I just told you now my mother is coming tomorrow. Take care of her when she comes. And with all that trouble, you have to go and lead the women in the zone. And because you are inside personal problem yourself, when you get there, the loudspeaker has not been set. The people that should put light there, they have not put it there. And those men that they give you to help you put light and put this one, you go to them, you are reacting to them like your husband. The anger you wanted to manifest to your husband at home, and you didn't because you know that he will slap you if you do that. The anger you should have manifested to your husband at home that you couldn't manifest. All those other area leaders and people, the brothers that are fixing the light, you say, what type of useless brothers are you? That look, now we want to have our women fellowship. The light is not there. A loudspeaker system is not there. Everything is not there. You don't want us to. We know you men. You are not happy that we women are having opportunity in the church. We know you are not happy. We know your heart. But whether you like it or not, we are going to have our fellowship. Oh, they say something is wrong today with our sister. But you see, when some people have personal problems, that's how they behave. But look at Jesus Christ. He was going to the cross. He knew the time has come for him to depart out of the world. And yet, having loved his own, he loved them unto the end. Constant love, though you are in personal problem. In verses 4 and 5, John 13, verses 4 and 5, he riseth from supper, and laid aside his garments, and took a towel, and gathered himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. That is servanthood exhibited, not lordship manifested. Servanthood, the ability to serve and stoop down and wash the feet, the dirty feet of the people. John chapter 14 verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. Jesus always had words of encouragement in troublous times. A leader will have words of encouragement in troublous times. When people have problems, those who are led by the Spirit, guided by the Spirit, they will always have for you words of encouragement. A brother in the zone is trying to get married, and you ask him, now you've been in courtship for 2 years, 3 years, and you are not married yet. What's the problem with you? And I said, well, it has been a point of prayer that I've been trying to gather money to even pay the dowry, and I've not been able to succeed. Or I paid the dowry already, but I'm waiting so that I can have enough to buy various things in the home. Why did you behave foolishly like that? You went to pay dowry, no chair at home, nothing to cook. It's your foolishness, and normally you will suffer for your foolishness. I didn't know that's the problem, so you first of all pay dowry. Didn't you use your common sense and know that you should have equipped your house, done this and done that? Then you know you are ready for marriage, you go to pay dowry. I didn't know that's the problem. In any way, we'll be praying for you. That man will not believe you will be praying for him, because that attitude is not the attitude of an intercessor. Attitude of somebody that is praying. Words of encouragement. Words of encouragement. Somebody has family problem, and he's saying, I don't know if I can continue leading an area, because my wife always makes life uncomfortable for me. And I don't like to nag and get angry and do this and that. And even though I prayed and I controlled myself, but still I'm not happy with myself. The way I talked to her yesterday and the way I talked to her the other day. And then let me go and report myself to the zonal leader or to the area leader. And said, I think I want to have some time to pray. Why? What's the problem? Well, my wife and myself, not that we fought, but the way we spoke to one another, I was sharp with my wife, and I felt guilt. So you have started your fighting again? Okay. Which area are you leading? I'm leading such and such an area. Okay. As you have come, it is good. I will deal with that later. But let me care for the work of God first. Go aside. Because we have tried to correct you. We have tried to help you. Help will never succeed with you. Brother, this man has been fighting with his wife. He told me that they just spoke sharp words, but I don't know how much they did, because I have not investigated. But before I investigate, go and take up his area. Go and lead the area. People that say they are saved, they are sanctified, always quarreling, no time for them. Get out of the work. Let another person do it. God has a lot of, you think you are special, look at them. Many people at Bagada, we can easily make them area leaders. So brother, help us. Go and lead that area. Hey brother, we didn't fight. What is fighting? When somebody begins to talk sharply to the other fellow, fighting has started now. Or you are waiting for when you take cutlass and cut ahead. Before you know that you are fighting, you have been fighting already. No words of encouragement. A person that felt like a failure at home and is looking for who will comfort me, who will help me to help my wife. When the person came there, what the person was not expecting is what the person will meet. But Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. A leader that will encourage. Words of sympathy, words of love, words of encouragement, and say, well, brother, you know, marriage is like a school. And you will find out that in marriage, sometimes your wife will do things that you don't like. Just, cool down. Do not speak any sharp word. After all, she is the mother of your children. And all those things will not help. I will see her myself. And then tell her to come and see me. But as you are saying you don't want to lead house fellowship or want to be an area, everybody has problem. If we think of, I spoke to that one, they didn't pay my salary, I was a little bit rough with the cashier in the office. If we say because of that, nobody will not work for God, nobody will work for God, go back to your work. We'll settle that, and God will help you. We are praying for you. That man will go back with encouragement. Then we call the wife and said, don't you know that as your husband is working for God, if your husband is successful, God will reward you for making him successful. And if you make life difficult for your husband, don't you know that you are leading together? Even though you may say, well, I'm not house fellowship leader, I'm not area leader, it's only my husband that is working for God. As you are making life easy for your husband, God will give you a reward. And sister, what is the problem? That man is just a hypocrite. He's only leading people. He only knows Bible. He doesn't know how to apply it in his life. Yes, but what is the problem? Well, yesterday morning he was going out, and I said, Papa Bisi, make sure that you leave 5 naira down. And the man, so he reads Bible, he just finished quiet time, and said, I have no 5 naira, go and take care of yourself. And I became angry. Okay, I understand. It's natural to feel like that, but don't yield to the natural. God will provide for you. Any other problem in the family? Well, it is only this and this and this. Why not go back to your husband and say you are sorry? No, I will never say I'm sorry to that man. If you say you are sorry to that man, the following day he will say you have started again. You'll come back and you'll say you are sorry later. So to say you are sorry to that man is dangerous. No, don't act like that, sister. Go back to him and say, I'm sorry. And whatever the problem is, we are praying for you. And don't think that your husband is a great sinner. He's a child of God. You must even be happy that you have a man like that. That God has allowed you to marry a man like that. You must be thanking God. If you know what is happening in other families, you will go and kneel down and be saying, God, I thank you for giving me this man. Is that so? I thought my husband is, the most terrible person in the whole zone. You are making a great mistake. That's your husband? Even myself, that I'm a man, I'm thanking God for your husband. Is that so? The woman will run home and say, my husband, I didn't know you are good like that. I thought that you are just a sinner and a criminal. Okay, my husband, don't be angry. What do you want to eat now? You see, words of encouragement. That will help. Help our leaders. Help the people that are having problems. Words of encouragement in troublous times. That's what leaders should give out. But look at John chapter 14, verses 8 and 9. Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it suffices us. Jesus saith unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that has seen me has seen the Father. And how sayest thou, show us the Father? That is gentle rebuke for offenders. Gentle rebuke. Philip said something that Jesus was not expecting. It showed that he had not been paying enough attention. He has not known Jesus Christ the way he ought to know him. And Jesus just said, have I been with you for a long time? Haven't you been in the church for a long time? Brother, you should know that. Haven't you been a worker for a long time? Sister, you should know that if you are traveling out, you should have reported to the zonal leader so that we'll be able to know how to replace you. But now you just traveled without telling anybody. That's not right. Have you not been here for a long time? Gentle rebuke. Telling them in such a way that they will easily correct themselves. John chapter 17 verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. You intercede for them, for the leaders under you, so that you can supply their need and strength when you are absent. Jesus was going to be absent from them, and he knew that they will not be able to carry all the burden. Because of that, he was praying for them. And we as leaders should pray for those under us, so that they will have the grace, the strength, all that they need when we are absent from them. John chapter 19, from verse 1. But Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him. And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe. and said, Hail, King of the Jews! And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again, and saith unto them, Behold, I bring him forth to you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. Verse 6, And the chief priests therefore and officers saw him. When they saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, Take ye him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. He led an exemplary life in the midst of suffering. They plaited a crown of thorns. They spat on him. They smote him. They did all things to him that will make a person to even get angry and fight back. But in the midst of it all, Pilate could not